Hi everyone, I'm Ruchika Bindra, host and journalist. Growing up, I always searched for faces like mine for inspiration. While there were some phenomenal desi women doing some amazing things, their stories weren't at the forefront. I needed to see more of us being celebrated and represented in all facets of life. From a global influencer to a fashion stylist, I bring you some of the most inspiring desi women nationally and internationally. Welcome to Tell Me More with Rue. My guest this week is a true millennial. She quit her job, packed her bags, and traveled to the glamour city of Mumbai, all to pursue her dreams. Her viral dance videos have hit over 2 million views. Here to talk about what it's like to take a chance and a never giving up mindset, this week's inspiring Desi babe is Akanksha. Hi Akanksha, welcome to Tell Me More with Rue. How are you?
Hi, Rue. I'm good. So excited to tell you more.
Yeah, tell me more. Exactly. We're going to get into it. So, a lot of people know you online with AK Natch. Your introduction that I just shared with our viewers is insane. No lie, I was stalking you before our interview. 2.7 million views on one of your videos. Like, we have a lot to talk about. Where did this viral life of yours start? You know, this girl in Toronto, now globally known. So I'm very excited to have you on and, as an inspiring South Asian to talk with me about kind of the journey that you've been through and what your challenges have been like. So are you ready?
I'm ready to tell you more.
Yay. So a lot of people don't know, where you were born because this is a global show. Share a little bit about where you're born, where your parents are from.
Oh, cool. So I was born in Mumbai, but I'm not from there. We're from Delhi originally. My parents were just happened to be there, but I moved to Africa when I was 1. So I grew up in Kenya,
Yep.
and then I moved here when I was 8 to a really small town, Brantford. It's a really, really small town, but the Bollywood and desiness never left me. So
How old were you when you left Mumbai to come to Africa?
on my first birthday. Like I just turned 1. So that's why I've never lived in India except for last year, but I've never lived in India.
When did you guys come to Toronto?
Um, we moved to Canada in 2001. I moved to Toronto after school, so 2015.
Yep. So you were pretty much in the small town for quite a bit of your schooling. The only
Yeah.
brown girl there.
Only brown girl. It was really tough. Obviously, no one understood me. I had an accent and everything. But it was hard, but life got better in university. Like I went to Waterloo, so there's more diverse people, lots of people there. So
Did you feel conscious about your accent? Because for you, that was normal, right? Like that's how you sound. But now you're in an environment where people sound different.
yeah, I felt conscious. I didn't even realize my accent, but I have to say I had a tough time growing up, and I've never really spoken about it, but I was bullied a lot. So until university, I didn't even have one friend, which is so dramatic to hear, but it's true. And it was hard for me because I feel like I have such a bubbly personality and I'm so fun, but no one really cared because I was constantly told every day that I was ugly, like all the time, which was just kids growing up. I was different, but the only thing I can say is high school is tough, school is tough, but it's over at some point. So you just got to get through some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. A lot of young South Asian girls are going to watch this and look at where you are now, right? So confidence comes throughout in life. I was bullied too. I went to Montreal in a French school. I looked very different. There was maybe one other Indian girl. I was the hairiest girl, last person to get everything waxed, last person, you know how it
We're
is.
not allowed to, it's like, baby, I'm not yet, but it's like, mom, I look so bad.
All these cool girls with their skirts rolled up, and I'm like, I was so morphy that I was like, even being so fat, I should not roll my skirt up. Never really talking aloud. So I feel you. And then where did you kind of go into in terms of your career? Because I know dance wasn't your first kind of career that you created, right?
Yeah, it's always been my passion. Like, because we moved countries and places, I never got training because we're always trying to figure out our life. So I would dance in my bathroom every day. Like, that was my thing. As my parents went to sleep, I would dance in my bathroom and then check if they're awake and then go to the bathroom. So that's my dance journey. But I went to University of Waterloo, and then I worked in a healthcare software company in Toronto in corporate sales and digital marketing after, and I loved it. I loved it, but for sure not my first passion.
Yeah. And then all we find out is you have now packed your bags and you're in Mumbai, and we see you online doing all these cool like dancing kind of, videos. And I'm like, what happened? Because I had seen you when I was hosting events in the red carpet, and I knew you were in Toronto. And now I'm like, suddenly she's in Mumbai. Like, okay, like what happened? Where did the sudden desire come to just go?
I know, and I think that's the thing about like Instagram. While I was going through that when I moved to India, which is definitely the hardest thing I've ever done, sometimes the messages I got from people like you or like anyone else was like, "That's so cool," and I'm like, "No, it's so hard." Like, like Instagram glamorizes everything for sure, but it wasn't that snap of a finger. I actually thought about it for a year. Like I told my parents and I sat on it for a year. And then I finally quit my job, which was the hardest thing because I loved my job. And I had no plan. Like usually people are like, don't you have a offer from Bollywood or go for like something? And I'm like, well, then I'm just gonna wait all the time. And this is my time. I don't have kids, husband, anything else. So if I should do it, I should do it now. But I still wasn't that confident. I have to say my colleagues and friends encouraged me because they said you can always come back to this job, Akanksha. You've done your school, you have experience, come back to it, but try.
Never know if you don't try. So I love that mindset.
Yeah, but scary. So scary, especially because I've never lived in India and in Mumbai where I was, I don't have any family there. So no friends, no family at all. And I like even little things, which just made me appreciate Toronto a lot because if I want to print something, I know Staples is here. I can go. Like, I don't know where to go in India. I just basic things I don't know, or I don't know what things are supposed to cost because they're trying to like jip me all the time. Like, madam, ye to 500 ka hai.
So funny you say that because I'm like born in Mumbai. Almost every year I used to go back to Mumbai, and I always say this to people: I'm gonna retire there because I'm such a Bombay. I like through and through. I love going. Like going on vacations, I go to Bombay for my vacation. I'm like, I love it. But you're right. If you don't know anyone, you don't know anything. It's a totally different way of living. You're now picking up and going on your own. It's very scary. I mean, it's scary for someone who goes every year because you're still unsure of things. So were your parents nervous when you're like, listen, I'm not even going to Delhi where you guys maybe know family or, there's a friend. I'm going to an unknown city. Like, were they like, no, no, beta, it's dangerous. You can't go.
Yeah, they definitely freaked out, especially my dad, because obviously I'm a daddy's girl. And I have to say, it was funny because a lot of our parents, I mean, India is amazing, but I think because education opportunities in Canada is safer overall, they moved here for that. So my dad was just so taken aback. He's like, for everything I've done to get you here, my daughter wants to go back to India.
He's like, hi.
Yeah, he's like, what? So it was convincing. The hardest part is, and I think my parents were really sweet, and what my dad said when actually our family friends were like, are you crazy? Why are you letting your daughter do this? And he was the same like what you said. If a person wants to try, all you can do is give your kid wings, right? I won't cry about it because I think he's really sweet. But but encouraged, he supported me, but it's not that easy because you don't know what you're supporting. I didn't say, Mom and Dad, I'm gonna do this and this. I'm like, I'm just gonna go. And they're like, they want to support me, and they did, but it's hard for kids that want to be dancers or actors because there's no set path, and then parents want to support you, but they're like, what are we supporting? Should we protect you?
It's
Yeah.
tough for a parent because you're right. Creative fields, actors, dancers, painters, these are beautiful creative fields. And as much as your parent may say, okay, I see that talent in my child, the bottom line is, what are you supporting? Because it's not a set path. Like, oh, you graduate from being an engineer, you do an internship, you have a corporate job. Like, there's a support system. I know what I'm helping. In this case, you're letting your kid go. There's a safety fear, especially being a father, but you want to support your kid. So kudos to your dad. We need more supportive South Asian dads like that in the world. I really think we do.
Yeah, and I definitely want to say my mom because she actually came with me and lived with me for a month to like set
Wow.
up my apartment, which I think is important. And I know my friends who moved to Mumbai as well, and their parents didn't come because they're very clear about it. They said if I was going to university for Australia, you would just let me go, right? So this is school for me. It's a career as well. So I respected that, but I just wanted to be real. Like I've never lived in India, and I had to have my wits about me the whole time. When I came back, when I was ordering, I put my phone down at Tim Hortons, and I realized I haven't done that in a year because I'm always like,
Yeah.
just to make sure.
Yeah. Different city, different way of life.
Yeah. So
And so you get to Mumbai, you finally made it, you left the corporate job. Now the home is set up, the apartment is set up. And Mumbai's expensive. Um,
yeah.
were you like, okay, I'm taking all my savings? And B, were you like, I'm going to get a part time job? And C, where are you going to go to start getting into dance? Like, where do you go?
Yeah, so I honestly went there to train, and it was the best decision ever. I've constantly been saying that moving to India was really tough, but it was the best decision I ever made. It's a risk. I respect myself for going through that, but it was the best thing because in India, the population is so much that something I learn here in a month, I learn in an hour
Wow,
over there.
that's a
You
huge difference.
Yeah, you just move. Like you gotta go because everyone's there. They're going at it, and that environment forces you to go. And also, it helps when you're passionate about something, right? Your mind just tunes into it. So I was getting trained there in like hip hop, whacking, jazz, all these styles that I've never done before. But a lot of these styles are American. So people were looking at me there like, but we want to come to Canada. Like, why are you here? And I agree with that. There's so many classes here, and I'm gonna explore that. But I'm passionate about Bollywood music. I listen to that. So
Yeah,
if I'm doing hip hop to a Kareena Kapoor song, I know every beat. Like I'm so into it compared to a song that I don't really know? So
I totally agree with you. I think you and I were talking about this before the show where dancing, anytime you dance to Bollywood music, you're so excited, the lyrics. I just feel like you perform better, whether you're at a, reception, whether you're doing a workout, whether like the joke my husband says is you're so brown because all you have is desi Bollywood music on your phone. My head is 90% Bollywood lyrics, like all day. If I'm sad, I have a sad song. If I'm happy, I have a happy song for Bollywood.
yeah,
Like yeah. So I
and,
feel like I'm on the
and
madness.
it touches my heart because I'm passionate about that. So I just get that music more. Like it gets me. So you learn more. And it's competitive there, and there's so much talent there that you learn a lot. So I would recommend everyone, I would encourage them, go learn there. You'll learn so much.
Did you ever think like, okay, I'm enjoying it, I'm loving it. Is there a potential for me to stay here and maybe grow into being like an assistant choreographer, go into working on like show sets, film sets? Like, did you have that mindset or it was purely training and back to Toronto?
Maybe at the start, I actually wasn't a loyal Canadian Toronto person. I have to say that. But going to India made me that. Not because India is bad, but you respect what you have more, right? You know that. Because for me, when I was here, I'm like, I'm not a whitewashed person at all. I'm like Indian, this. And when I was there, I'm like, okay, I've actually lived in America for so long. I am American. Like so
Totally.
I learned more about myself when I was there. Like, for example, I do skits too, right? And I started off because Zed Ali and I went to school together. So I was in a skits that would reach 18 to 20 million views at the time. Like, that's how I started.
Crazy.
So I loved acting, and I had to go to an audition in Mumbai to the first or second audition, sit there and be like, I don't want this. Like, I had to go, like, that's why I would encourage people to go because it'll help you figure yourself out. And I didn't know that. I had to go sit in that audition, see a million girls just like me trying to deliver one line as a YouTuber, you're making your own skits, directing and like everything. And I'm like, I'd rather create content that I'm passionate about than sit here trying to deliver a line to a guy who's kind of creepy.
Acting is
So
different. Acting in India, I say this to a lot of people, unless you've been there, unless you've seen the lineups, I mean, and it's not to demotivate people because, you know, the show is all about encouraging, but I love what you're saying. If that's something you're really passionate about, you need to actually go there to know what the struggle's like. You need to actually be sitting in an audition because an audition in India is very different than an audition in Canada. I've gone to numerous auditions here. It's very different. And India is a very intimidating market. Not to say you can't kill it and do amazing, but like you said, you need to know if that's what you want, or if you want to do what we can do now with social media, and that's create our own content, right? Which we're going to talk about because you're doing so much of. So you start choreographing, you start, you know, being a choreographer, you learn this, you come back here, and these videos, like, is there a strategy? Like, okay, this is a popular song, I'm gonna do a video on it because I'm gonna get 1 million likes or 2 million likes. Like, for somebody who wants to start becoming popular on social media, can you give some of our viewers some very authentic tips that have worked and what doesn't work?
sure. I'll share many things that seem to work, but then I'll share a really real answer after. So many things that I've seen other dancers do is as soon as a song comes out, they make a video on it quick because as a song gets viral, people are searching that
That's
song, right? So I see that happen a lot, but at the end of the day, my most popular videos are like throwbacks that people haven't heard, right? Like my Falguni Pathak song and
7 million as of
Sharada. Yeah. Yeah, right. And who is searching for that? I don't know. So it's not always the thing. And I think the most real answer I can tell people, which is the best thing about YouTube and the most frustrating thing, is that it's unpredictable.
yeah,
Now, the most frustrating thing is you can get lights, camera, makeup, da da da, and you'll get like 50 views, and then someone will shoot something with like crappy quality and it's got like tons, right? So there's no formula, but what I like about it is that it's a fair playing ground for everyone.
great.
Because if people were rich, then they would pay for it and like figure it out and just be great. But social media takes away nepotism, money, everything. And it's like if you can entertain, you'll get the
Yeah,
views.
and everybody, and I love that you say that because I know a lot of people could come back and say, no, but guys, you could paid market. Yeah, I can do paid marketing just like you can, right? An actor can do it. So you're right. We all have the same tools available to us. We all are producers of our own kind of content. We're all directors of our own content. You're not waiting for a big production house to sign you. And I think that's amazing. So when you hit
Yeah.
your first, what was your first big moment where you're like, shit, this is working? Like, wow, like that pinch me moment. What was that for you?
It's hard to say that because I appreciate everything. And I think as an artist, you have pinch me moments, but then they're gone because it's old after that, right? So, yeah, when I hit a million, I was texting my family like screenshots every time. It's like 9:59, like it's getting to that point. And I'll share updates, and it feels amazing because it's like making a 1 minute video takes a village. It takes so much work. And sometimes when you do it and you get 500 views, you're just like, wow, why am I doing so much? But if you're passionate about it, you'll do it. So I have pinch me moments for everything. Like I posted my first Instagram reel and it crossed 50,000 views
Amazing.
yesterday, and it's random, but I'm pinching myself about that, like, yay, it's so cool. And you have to appreciate. But then the other part about that, which um I have to say I'm strong about, but it's not easy, I'm not always strong, is that when you don't hit that, because you get used to that. So when you don't hit that, it's like, but I work so hard, everything's great, all the comments are great, so everyone who's watched it loves it, but the algorithm didn't pass it through, so
And you're right. Sometimes you have to pick yourself up because you're going to have good days and you're going to have the highs, but then you're going to have the lows. And like you said, you can't give up because sometimes it's not you, it's the algorithm. It's beyond you, it's beyond what you create and you put out there.
yeah.
And
So it's random. Social media is random.
And what's your plan now? Like, do you want to, because I know you teach in Toronto. Is there plans that you want to go back to a corporate life? Is there plans that you want to eventually post the COVID life, go back to India and explore? Do you want to work on sets? Like, what can we see next from you?
So I'm super passionate about teaching and I want to continue that. So I'm trying to grow that. So I'm obviously teaching online right now because COVID has ruined everything. It ruined my plans. So I don't mind it at all because the commute isn't there. People can teach, people can learn at home, but an in-class vibe is
So
different,
I know, I agree.
right?
As much
So
as tools are great, it's not the same.
it's not the same, but it's something. So I want to keep growing my classes because I find, and I might be wrong, but I find we have a really strong Punjabi community in Canada, and I'm Hindu Punjabi as well, right? So I find there's a lot of bhangra, gidda, everything else, but there's no like my style Madhuri Bollywood.
There's no Bollywood, full Bollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, which I love. And I feel like there's more girls out there like me. So I just want to grow my classes in like Mississauga, Markham, Waterloo, everywhere, and just have classes where I teach choreographies because I'm passionate about that. I'm not a super trained dancer. So when people ask me, oh, when are you going to open your own school? I don't want to open my own school because then I have to take you and improve your technique. And I'm not qualified for that. If you're really passionate, get training. I'm going to encourage you. But I think there's people like me who just have a passion for dance and they love a song and they just want to dance to that. That doesn't mean they want to go learn how to do the splits or everything. They're like, I just want to dance. So
Fun
I'm
and
for that.
musty of it. I just want to lip sync and dance and do my podcast and just have a good time. Totally. And
Yes.
people like
Sorry?
videos because in your classes, because there's a very natural, fun vibe to it. Like you feel when you see it, you feel like you're in the party. And I love that. I feel like you're having your own party and we can all just join, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Really quickly, I want to ask you something. What was the lowest point you've had? Because as much as we talk about people's highlight reels, Akanksha, and you talk about the success and the moments, and you've reached 2.7 million followers and likes, and all these great achievements on your YouTube videos, I'm sure there are lows, right? There are the days where you're like, is this gonna work? Is it not? What are those days like, and how do you pick yourself up?
Yeah, I definitely still have them. Like even right now, I'm trying to encourage my classes, but what if it just doesn't grow? I'm passionate about it. I think I can do a great job, but I can't just go out there and like tap everyone and like let them know. So I don't know where I'm headed. I'm just gonna try, but I vent to my friends and family a lot, and I think that that's important to get that encouragement. And I think the main thing, and if other people don't have that in their life, I want to tell them that just try. Not even the classes, but the main thing is I meet a lot of people, like not dancers, but makeup artists also who said, oh, Akanksha, I want to open my YouTube channel, but I'm just going to take classes. And in a year, once I get good, I'm going to start. And I'm like, just start
Yeah.
start because you're going to get better over time. And my first video was crap, and you'll see people improve, but there's no right time and there's no formula to it. So just post and something will randomly do good and you're like, well, how and why, but it just will.
Yeah. And I
So
think
just
that's
put it
true.
out there.
Hard work, effort, and just put yourself out there. I love that. And I think for a lot of young South Asian, women that are gonna be watching this show, I think your story, that's why I love it. It's so inspiring because you literally just took a chance. You didn't overthink it, you didn't overplan it. Each thing that you've done, you've just said, okay, I feel like doing this right now. It seems genuine. It works with what I align with, and I'm gonna go give it a chance. That's amazing. Um,
It was very instinctive. I'm very instinctive. I was like, I have to do this. It's in my heart, and it's nowhere is it the right cookie cutter thing to do. But
Absolutely. And I love that. That's why you're an inspiring South Asian, right? For young girls who want to be dancers and, choreographers. Okay, really quickly, we have a few minutes left. We're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to ask you some questions and you have to be honest, okay? Because, you're a Bollywood lover like myself. Okay. You could choreograph one actor. Who would it be and why?
Shahid, I think.
Really?
Because yeah, maybe. I guess Hrithik and everyone's well, Hrithik's just too good. I would just watch him. But I like Shahid because I've seen him work with Prabhu Deva and like others where he can just do weird stuff. So I want a choreographic dancer that will be like Hrithik and amazing, but can be like Tapori also, you know, just do like the grungy weirdness that is so weird, but you just keep watching.
I love the Tory dance. Everyone makes fun, but I that's the kind of vibe I'm into. That relaxed, laid back sort of style where you're just having musty.
Ranveer also, because he'd just be like psycho. I'd love it.
He's on his own party 24/7. Awesome. Your favorite Bollywood song currently? Because I know it's impossible to pick, but or your top three right now that you're constantly hearing.
Oh, it's not a Bollywood song. Actually, it's a Neha Kakkar song, but it's just stuck in my head. Also, because Bollywood's not coming out with songs right now, COVID is stopped it, but it's Diamond the Challa. Because I want to choreograph it. I love wedding songs.
Wedding
Like,
songs? Okay. Yeah, your last bridesmaid dance was another very viral video. You're just like,
I love that stuff.
yeah, you're just killing it. If you could wear one Indian designer for your wedding day, which would it be and why?
Yeah.
Good one. I'm
I guess Bollywood is like Manish Malhotra, but obviously Sabyasachi has taken everyone's hearts. But I have to say, even if I was a bajillionaire and it's the most stunning piece, I don't know if I would ethically feel okay paying that much for an outfit I'm gonna wear one day. But if I could rent it, Sabyasachi.
okay. We have to see if we can find that for you and make that happen, right?
Thanks, Ruchika.
You know,
Thanks.
I'm hinting for you to get married. That's my hint, so I can dance at a nice reception. That's the goal.
Aren't you just Seema auntie from Indian matchmaking?
Not just Seema auntie, you don't even understand. All of my single friends, I was like, "Hi, when are you getting married?" "Oh, no one now. Come on, tomorrow." And I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm that auntie that I used to hate when I was single, and now I'm doing that."
Thanks.
I'm sorry, I've become Seema auntie. That's yeah. That's just what happens when you're married. That's what you ask now. Uh,
Encourage.
Thank you so much for coming on to tell me more with Rue. I really love your story, and I love that you gave some very genuine advice to people based on what you've gone through. And I think what stood out to me is how supportive your dad was, and I love that. I think all girls we need dads like that. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, and I had so much fun telling you more. I hope it was informative and entertaining. And I can't wait to watch all the episodes.
Yay! See ya.
Bye.